Welcome to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social, where we help you stay ahead of social media trends, share the latest news, and highlight the strategies that are working to help you grow your business. Now let's join our hosts, Tristan and Jeff, in 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Mindset. And today's going to be a lot of fun because I have with me two guys that I don't even know that their last names are relevant to anyone, right? When you say, I'm here with Tristan and Jeff, I'm here with Jeff and Tristan, like we go, oh yeah, the Drunk on Social guys, right? We know who you guys are. And so I'm not going to beat around the bush and take 10 minutes to tell you how amazing you are. And oh my gosh, I'm so lucky to be on Zoom with you. Like, right? Nobody cares. So I just know that SocialCon was freaking dope, fellas. And y'all's ability to create a real estate centric event without real estate people, I think was such a brilliant decision because it opened my eyes, as I know it did many others, to just perspectives and opinions and ideas and thought flows and from people that aren't us. And so I just love to know, like, man, what'd y'all think about it? What were some of your takeaways?
Do you think that Sonny and Cher are threatened by Jeff and Tristan?
Probably not. Are they alive?
I don't know, actually.
Because if they're not, then they're not threatened.
Sonny's dead. JJ, get it together.
All right, my bad. Sorry.
Dude, let's talk about your book that came out during Drunk on Social. So
it did. Mean, that was great timing.
On stage, I ordered it from stage. So
did you really order it? Because you did it so fast, it felt like it might have been fake.
It was already on my cart, so I just clicked go.
Okay, I love it. I appreciate that. And
there you go.
And your book will be out by the time this thing releases. Is everything on schedule for your book to come out on the 25th?
Looking good. Now we're just waiting for JJ's book.
Dude,
I need to get a pen out first.
You got to do it. Yeah, write it in ink. That'll be really unique.
That'll be an amazing. I'd buy the only copy, dude. How much would
Yes,
it be?
you would. Yes, you would. My
wife. What was your, like, did you have one big takeaway or were there several that you walked away from SocialCon and went, man, like that alone was worth being there?
I'll go first, Jeff, on this one, because I have two things. One was the repeated message on consistency, that I'm just not doing enough and I'm not showing up enough, right? And I was like, I felt that. I was like, man, right? And if I felt that, everyone else better have felt that shit. So
no doubt, because everyone in that room would look at you two as the most consistent people in the room, right? Aside from the keynotes that were there to speak. Yeah. So then for you to go, ugh, I'm not consistent enough. Like that's big. And
then the second piece is that I'm overthinking it. I'm still overthinking it, because if I look at Austin's stuff, which is very simple, very processed, right? I'm like, there's no way you're getting millions of views on that stuff. And
right.
And he is. And it's like, I'm overthinking it. So those are the two things for me. And that really helped me just continue on that path. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I would consider those more broad-based. I would say I was thinking more like super technical, because our perspective is different than the audience is. We know those people, most of them really, really well. Part of the reason why, to expand on what you said, like non-real estate influencers, but also super young influencers. Like I was very intentional about I had a college kid who runs the only social media that's like some sort of mastermind or groups across the country. This kid is going to be, dude's going to probably be more successful than anybody in that room when all is said and done. Yeah. And then Gigi and London, there was just a bunch of them that are in their 20s. And I think that getting the perspective of a Gen Z who has grown up in this and truly understands this better than those of us that didn't, you know, we've evolved with it. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, I don't understand what I'm going to learn from a kid, right? And I think just wrapping your head around that mindset. So for me, it was more technical stuff. It was like stop overthinking going live on TikTok, and then understanding how to use going live on TikTok, because I have a very strong audience on TikTok that's very niche down. And I'm like, damn it, why am I not doing this? And so it's not like I hadn't heard it before, but hearing it from a different perspective. And you know, Keenya with the 501 personality, I just love how she articulated that. It was so cool.
That was one of my big ones.
Yeah,
the 5. I loved the because everybody knows what that means. You know.
Yeah. Do they?
Well, the audience might not just right this second, but I'm saying once you explain it, when she said it, we're like, oh my gosh, 100%. We all have that post-work personality that comes out in us.
Yeah.
And so explain it to the audience so that we don't continue to talk through it without giving them that story.
I mean, it's your real you. I think for most of us, we have this perception that we need to be either professional as when we press play or on social, or I think we maybe get a little uptight when we press play on social, and we feel like, ooh, I can't show that to my audience because it might, you know, I might lose followers. And the reality is that you're actually probably losing more engagement and following by being too professional, because that's not what social media was designed for. And so your 501 is, who's that person that's in the mirror, in the bathroom, getting ready for work or getting ready for the day, the one dancing around, singing songs? Who's the one who's goofing off with your kids? Like that's you. That's who you really are. And so be that on social, and you'll actually find that you'll attract more than you realize.
Man, 100%. I loved, you know, all these people have millions of followers. So obviously, like, they have what most of us want, right? That influence over people. All of them spoke to how bad they sucked when they started.
Yeah.
And I love that part, because I just think so many of the realtors and lenders that we try to serve, they just can't get past that part, right? Like we're in an industry that like is always teaching, put your best foot forward, like get that suit on, and then we tell them, oh, just kidding. On social media, you're going to suck at first. You're going to look like an idiot every once in a while. And so I feel like it's two combative messages that these people are being taught. And so I just loved watching London is the one. London shared his very first video ever.
Yeah.
That literally was, what was it? Like, want to see the world's biggest bubble, and he never actually blew a bubble.
Yeah. He was like he was ahead of his time on that. Like tease the audience and not actually give it to him, and then probably get crucified for not actually giving it to him, but it worked.
It's so good. I got to Austin Armstrong and we already recorded a podcast last week together that'll come out in a little bit. And man, I want to get y'all's perspective, because it was funny that he called both of you guys out, that you both separately messaged him and were like, bro, did you know that there was an awkward thing in your video?
Yeah.
And you suckers, y'all just like went for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's exactly. So when he talked about his concept of playing into the criticism of social that most of us try to avoid all the time.
Yep.
Talk through with the audience, like what he's doing. I'm now looking for those Easter eggs every single video of his that I see. Talk through that.
Well, most people aren't. I think that's the thing. But when you notice it and you're watching the video for his specifically, when he's showcasing what website to go to, and he's flipped the camera over and be like, hey, this is the website you should go to. He's hovering over the tabs, and one of those tabs has something along the lines of Elon Musk nudes or J-Lo nudes or something crazy like that. And people are like, what? And they snap it, and then they send it to me, and they're like, hey, your boy Austin, you got to let him know. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And then I text Jeff. I'm like, hey, Jeff, do you think he knows? And I don't remember what Jeff said, but I texted it to Austin, and Austin's like, and he laughed. And he's like, you know, that I do that on purpose. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So funny.
He he pronounces words like Socrates, Socrates.
It's so true.
Well,
It's
what
so
he,
funny.
I don't remember if this is how he said it, but essentially what he said was it's easier to get people's get people's criticism than it is to get their praise.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
and maybe he didn't say it as eloquently as I just said it. So maybe Austin, if he watches this, then he can steal that and, use it at TechCrunch. That's where he's at today. But that was just such a brilliant thing for me to hear, because I'm not trying to be perfect, but I'm always trying to be positive. And so I think like throwing in those random misspelled words and, it's such an interesting dynamic that I think would work really well for a lot of people in our industry.
Well, I think what people are overlooking on that is they're so fearful of screwing up, but the reality is imperfection is actually, it attracts more because it's real. But the other side of the coin is, I think when doing this, like, I'm a perfectionist, so that my initial reaction is like, fight that, like, no way, I'm not going to do that. But then you realize your audience is going to know what you're doing. It's the new audience, it's the new followers you're going to pick up as a result, which seems kind of backwards. And I just pulled up, Tristan, remember this, I did a video last year where I was talking about boating rules. So it's my TikTok and Lake of the Ozark stuff. And evidently, I didn't know this until then, the Lake of the Ozarks boating rules are not exactly the real boating rules. Like, we just make up our own rules because it's a very unique lake. And I was talking about something.
Bills, that sounds safe.
Now I got crucified. I was like 50-50 crucified versus defense, right? And there was 170. I was just looking the analytics up. 176,000 views, 3,000 likes, almost 1,500 comments.
Golly.
Like, that's insanity. And you know what I was noticing, Tristan, on the retention rate? That was a 8-second video. 25% of 176,000 watched the entire thing. Like, huge. And it was, and I'm, because I was like, because one of my good buddies, Sean Curley, is also my partner, who also has a place at the lake. He was like, I love that video because I just loved watching you get crucified. And I'm like, and then after now it's gone through, I'm like, I need to do more of that. Like, I need to intentionally just mess with people and just to get the engagement, because it grows your following. And then, it's a fascinating concept.
So do y'all think inside of this thought process, like, can people do intentional, like, real estate videos this way?
Oh yeah.
Or is it because that's their profession? Like, they don't want us to be seen as like a moron that could say something, like, is there a line here? Because you asked,
you can walk that line pretty good, dude. I think if you take into consideration in a good portion of Southern California, there are no basements, right? So I could take a stance and say, hey, basements are for stupid people, right? Or why a basement, guys? Like, you got it all wrong. You don't need a basement, right? And then I can tell you instantly that I will get crucified, right? But then again, I'm a real estate in SoCal. I get defense. It's like, yeah, basements are stupid. They get flooded, earthquakes, all crushed down. Then it's like, well, what about the extra square footage? So I think we can do it for real estate. We just have to find the right angle.
How about, have you ever heard of Zillotastrophes on TikTok?
Oh yeah, man, that's true.
I'm gonna send this to you, Kyle. And so what she does is she goes and just finds, she's finding the listings on Zillow, taking the pictures and then talking about them. So she's talking about like crappy looking pictures, that picture where somebody didn't realize they were in the mirror and they were naked, or somebody sitting on the toilet. Like, that's the kind of real estate stuff that will grab tons of attention.
Well, Austin talked about that listing on Zillow that had like that sex dungeon, in it.
Good.
And just the plays that got, because of obviously how shocking that is when you're seeing a home tour and all of a sudden a bunch of sex stuff pops up.
Dude, I mean, we can go further on this. It's like, what about just grabbing your phone and going through, if you're in a city, going through all the park benches of all the different real estate agents and be like, which one's a 10? It's like, boom, boom, boom. Or for sale signs, it's like, which one looks best, guys? Oh, that one's stupid, but this one's good, right? You get people crucifying real estate. You could do so much.
You could do that. You could talk about, the lazy realtors, and because there's so many examples you could give there that so many people are going to come to your defense, like, and just be, oh yeah, I can't stay. Or, like I did the video, is it, say it right, it's realtor, not realtor. Those kind of things that, that are, that it just stirs the pot, stokes the fire, gets people going.
Okay, dude, I got an idea. It's like, why not in a bigger city, metro area, or downtown anywhere, start a video and be like, so everyone is a real estate agent. Let's just ask random people if they have their real estate license. Excuse me, sir, do you have a real estate license?
I
Ma'am,
love that.
do you have your real estate license? And then, I mean, how would that not get a lot of views, right? So yeah, just there's so much we could do, man.
So I want to ask you guys, and this is going to kind of go negative for a little bit, but I think it's necessary. Like, the reality of the people we work with is as great as SocialCon was, I would imagine maybe 10%, 20% of that room went home and instantly like took action and did something.
Yeah.
Why, when there's so many gurus, there's so many coaches, there's so many great events and people doing this, like, why is it still like pulling teeth to get people to take action on any of this stuff?
You know the stat, right? 90% of social media users are lurkers, just consumers.
Yeah.
9% are light engagers and 1% are creators. And
is that for real? That's the real number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Which tells you how much opportunity there is for the 1%. But I think there's a lot of reasons for it. There's the uncomfortability. It's not in our comfort zone. I think that the algorithms are so freaking good that you intend. Oftentimes I open up Instagram. Okay, I got to go do this. And then, oh, Frenchie, I'm going to watch Tristan's video, and you just get caught. And then 45 minutes later, you're like, shit, I got to get back to what I was doing. And then you forgot the whole time, so I think being intentional is a really hard thing for people, being disciplined to the process.
Does all this social media knowledge, strategies, and skills from this podcast really matter if you don't use video? The truth is, any presence is better than no presence, but without video, you're really limiting your growth. It's no secret that video is the future of all media. It's where all consumers gravitate, so executing at a higher level than your industry peers is an absolute necessity to create differentiation. You can hire a full-time videographer, but is that really sustainable? The answer is no for many, which is why it is critical that you adopt and learn video skills to allow you to create video that will stand out. Having camera presence, knowing what equipment to use and how to use it, proper lighting, video editing, music and voiceovers, scripting, and many other topics are the reason why Business Video School was created. To teach you how to develop these skills quickly and easily with over-the-top support along the way so that you never feel lost. The Business Video School is a comprehensive video education platform that delivers all of this training, but also creates actual video recipes with instructions and scripts for you to execute relevant content weekly with all of the skills you learn. And it doesn't stop there. Regular video challenges, weekly Q&As, a real estate video roadmap, a community of people learning and experimenting with video, and so much more. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Why wouldn't you join the Business Video School today? Go to www.bizvideoschool.com/open-house and register for the next open house where you'll learn more and get a chance to hear from current students and even ask them questions. That's bizvideoschool.com. Check it out.
I think you're right. And so is it, well, Tristan, do you have anything to add to that before I take it further?
No, I don't think so, except the fact that I think people forget that this is like door knocking or like cold calling or like anything else. It takes a lot of failure to figure out how you're going to be able to do it better for yourself.
100%. I interviewed a guy this morning that'll be a future episode on the podcast. He's a lender out of Florida, and he's the kick butt mortgage guy. That's his brand. And it's interesting because he also, his tagline is like, just do the effing video. And I was like, man, it's interesting. You said the F word in your tagline, but you're the kick butt mortgage guy. So it was a fun conversation that we had. But I was looking at his videos, and he has shorts that are in the thousands.
Nice.
And then he has shorts that have 3 views, 6 views, 10 views.
Yeah.
And so, like, how do we keep people from riding the waves of, Yes, I got 30,000 views. Oh man, that one got 7. How do you guys do that? Because y'all have videos that can pop off.
Yeah.
And then if you're like me, the video that you're like, dude, this is about to crush. Like 5 views later, you feel kind of like a loser, right?
Daily
I
content.
ignore it, man. I ignore I mean, I say I ignore it. I'm living in my TikTok right now because it's popping and I'm taking advantage of it. But for the most part, I'm more committed to the process. So when I wake up every single day, like on my Instagram, for example, I say to myself, my goal is 1 to 2 reels a day, every day. I'm always batching and creating. So it's not a lot of extra work. So I usually will spend, a week creating a bunch of videos, and then I just put them in my drafts, and then it's just easy. And then I know that I'm going to be posting 5 to 7 stories roughly a day. I already know in my head, I'm committed to that regardless of how engaged the audience is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's the game. It's like, I had one the other day that was it was an AI video, and I honestly expected it to not perform very well. Well, Austin saw it, shared it. It's one of my best performing videos that I've had in a while.
That guy.
Yeah. I mean, you
What
just
a
don't
guy.
know. Like, I mean, it's just stop overthinking it. Tristan, you said it in the beginning. Just stop overthinking it. Post the damn shit. You just don't know.
So Jeff, you're great at batching, right? I think we even have talked about that on a podcast before. Tristan, do you batch or do you just live in the moment? How do you do it?
No, I don't batch at all. I used to batch,
Okay.
and it just didn't work out for me well. Only because what I find is that I'm on the creative side, extreme creative. And so if I get an idea, I need to shoot it then. And so the other part to this is, as I'm going through and I'm scrolling through and I'm like, that's a good one, I'm just going to do it right there. Because this is the way I function better. I did that with the Warren Buffett one. It's at 2.4 million views.
Wow.
It increased my followers by 10,000. So it's just, for me, there's no right way. I know people that batch and they do amazing.
Sure.
Right. But I think for me at this point, I'm on this thing all day. And what I've noticed is that if I click record as I'm doing a webinar, like right now, if we record with Ecamm Live high def, and I get my pieces, I send it over to my team, and I just did like 7 short videos at that time. So that's the other piece that we're doing as well. So we're just taking advantage of what we're already doing.
Do you guys think there's a downside to, my only, I hate to even call it negative because I don't think it's negative, but my only potentially like negative criticism of SocialCon was that everyone that spoke was in the millions of followers. And if we're not careful, are we portraying a message that says, like, as a local realtor, as a local lender, you should be solely focused on trending and going viral and getting your followers up, versus I think all of us also agree the opposite of that is we can teach somebody with 100 Instagram followers how to sell tons of houses and close lots of loans. So is there a balance in that?
I don't think there is. I think what we look at in achievement for everything in the world that we live in, it's like for me, when I'm interviewing for Success Magazine on the podcast, I don't go and find an average working person that's working at Walmart and making $12 an hour.
Sure.
And be like, tell me about working at Walmart. I want to understand this, right? There's nothing attractive about that, because as humans, our psychology is definitely leaning towards, I want to know how you succeed at a high level in these particular things, because that gives me hope.
Yeah.
Right. And we're driven by hope. So I don't think so. I think that it's a normal thing to do, and we should aspire to be way better than some of us think we can be.
Yeah, sure. 100%.
Followers are a byproduct of consistency and quality. And we get so caught up in, I don't have enough followers, and then you get paralyzed by what to post. And the reality is, I mean, it's not about vanity. So yeah, back to what you said, Kyle, The people that are on stage are true influencers. They've figured out how to grow not only an audience, but also now grow a business as a result of it. And that's what we want people to take from it. Not, oh, damn, I need to have 10 million followers like London in order to be relevant. That's not the point. The point is they've got equations on what works. And one of the things that I did talk to people about, and by the way, we critiqued the event very hard. There's a lot of things I would change, and we are going to change, but one of them will not be that, like having the people that are true influencers that are outside the box. That's going to be kind of our goal. We're just going to try to get them to niche down. It was more broad-based this time, first go at it, and the messages were fairly similar. Now we're gonna be like, okay, we want somebody specializes TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I think that's going to be the way we go about it going forward. But dude, the hardest part for people to, this is such it's such a outside the box even strategy. This is not normal. And it's becoming very normal, and it needs to become very normal for people. And now here we are taking this already this uncomfortable zone that they're in, and even innovating it even further. And so it's really hard for people to understand. We Tristan and I understand we are not going to be for the masses. We are going to be for the 10%. We want to be for the people that really want to go after it. And I know that 10% is going to grow with time, but we will know if we're doing a good job if we're constantly being questioned on what we're doing. If we stopped getting questioned, now I'm like, oh shit, we haven't evolved. We haven't, pivoted. And that's our challenge. That's what we got to do.
I love it. I think that's exactly what you should be doing. Especially my mind is still spinning from when you said that 9% are lurkers, 90% just consume, and 1% are actually creating content.
Yeah.
So
Crazy,
as deep as we think, this is already gone, right? Everybody has social media. Everybody, the reality is like, we might kind of still be in the stone ages of what social media is and will continue to evolve into.
Yeah.
Right. And so I want to ask, I know Tristan, you got to jump off in just a couple minutes, and Jeff, we can keep rapping if you want, but I want to ask you guys, because I know y'all are deep into this. As every speaker spoke about consistency, every speaker kind of spoke about their failure leading to their successes. They also all spoke about AI and just how they're all leveraging it. And it's still crazy to me that so many people in our community, right, realtors and lenders, they're Heismaning this thing. Man, I don't know. It's going to come for my job. I didn't need this 10 years ago. Y'all are leaning in heavy. And so can we just have a conversation about, like, what's your favorite AI tool right now? What are you looking into? And, where should people go if they want to begin to kind of dabble in this thing?
Yeah, I had a conversation yesterday with a coder, a previous Facebook employee. He created the little emojis, thumbs up.
Oh,
thumbs
wow.
down.
Yeah.
He's the guy that created that. And he was up coding till 4 a.m. yesterday. And then we had a conversation late in the day. And we were talking about AI. And we were talking about AI and how it will affect specifically real estate. And we looked at it as two things. One, there are 1.5 million realtors in the United States. And from those, because most of them don't do any transactions, and then some have 5 to 11 transactions. The bottom 25% will be eliminated when we reach probably GPT-6, whatever that is, or more, because at that point all the data that we have locally will be inside of whatever AI looks like for real estate. It'll be able to write up contracts, determine what your request for repairs looks like, what I should be doing as an agent. I have any questions, just go to the AI for real estate. That will happen.
Wow.
So we will see a lot less realtors, but here's the thing, the amount of transactions will remain the same.
Right.
So that means they will be just going to less realtors, teams, mega agents that are using AI at a high level. That's one. The other thing is on AI, it's all about the prompts. And I don't know if you remember way back, or you've seen movies where people used to code and they have like just the back end system where like dash dot and the directory, and like you type in, you have to know what to type in to get the response. Coders, in this case, the prompts, people don't know what to prompt it. It's like, just, hey, give me a blog in Malibu. It's like the prompt's all wrong. The prompts need to be like this long, very specific. And you're going to see the companies that succeed at a high level using AI are going to be the ones that have fixed those prompts to make it easy for the user. That's the key.
So Jeff, before you go, because I know you have a lot to say on this, Tristan, real quick before you go, what's is Chat GPT the tool that the realtor listening that's like, holy crap, 25% of us aren't going to be here? Is that the first tool you'd say to start playing with?
Yeah, definitely play with it, and make sure that you understand what you're asking it is the most important piece.
Okay.
Thanks,
Love
man.
it. Thanks, bro. Good to see you. All right, man. Now we can have a real conversation.
Yeah, I know that
since Tristan's gone.
What, that freaking clown? Let's talk about it. As it relates to AI, the funny thing is as much as I talk about it and have been talking about it, and I would argue, because that's, again, this is what I look for. So when I'm speaking, we got asked in the beginning of last year, 2022, by one of the big real estate associations to speak about the future of tech as it relates to real estate. And that list included AI, included VR, AR, all, blockchain. And I'm talking about this last year without really understanding what AI meant, what it was going to be. And then now here we are, fast forward a little over a year. And in just a handful of months, AI it's insane. It's going to be
wow.
The amount of people that I'm talking about that are building their own AI into their own platforms. Like, apparently it's relatively easy. And so my prediction at the beginning of this year, 23, was by the end of 23 this year, AI is going to be so integrated into our lives, we're going to forget what life was like without it. Like, we're literally at the end of this year, we're going to talk about AI. Like, gosh, can you believe it was only a year ago that we just first got introduced to this? And so I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm also looking at it from the negative side. Everybody's looking at it from a positive side. And ChatGPT is amazing. Syllabi is amazing. Again, let's go back to Austin. I mean, it's a great AI tool that helps you create a social strategy in like 10 minutes. It's killer. There's AI built into Canva. It's everywhere. They're building it into business video school. I mean, it's literally, there's gonna be AI everywhere. And here's the thing I'll say about it positively first. I don't think in the short term AI is going to replace humans like everybody's afraid of, but it will replace the human that doesn't embrace AI.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to use it. But I also think, going back to the negative, that AI is going to have a negative impact on society in a lot of ways. One, laziness. I think people are going to get so caught up in using AI to, quote unquote, cheat time. Like, this is going to be easier. I'm just going to take it, run with it, put it out. And I think the platforms are going to catch up. And I think humans are going to catch up and start to be able to identify what was artificially created versus what was created by a human. So there needs to be that element. Like, you always need to keep a human element, but then the voice AI is going to really F up our world. Elon's been warning about this. I heard the other day, Elon warned the Obama administration that there needs to be regulation on AI or it's going to get out of hand. And from what I understand, the administrations just are not listening, because I don't think they knew any better. Because you think about Obama, like, gosh, how long ago was that? Right?
Feels like an eternity ago.
Right. And now I actually saw a TikTok the other day, and I knew this was coming. So these voice AI platforms where I can talk and the AI can change my voice to be Morgan Freeman, Donald Trump, Kyle Draper, anybody. And so you're going to get, here's the scary part. This doesn't, like, scam artists have a technical skill that the average human doesn't. This is going to require zero skill. So you're talking about some punk in high school is going to be able to dab into this AI and now change their voice, because they're just going to use this AI recorder or AI, voice changer. And they're going to call your parents, one of your parents, and say, hey, Mom, it's Kyle. I just, something bad happened, and I'm in jail right now. I can't really go into a whole lot of details, but here's what happened. I need you to wire over $5,000 to bail me out. And dude, it's going to be bad for a minute until people starts to get
Wild.
mainstream. Because I mean, there was a
Yeah.
time when I'll use roofers. They were going door to door and they're preying on old people. My grandma got nabbed on this, and she wrote like a $10,000 check. And
Wow.
it was like, and this is going to be a whole nother level of scam. And this is why I remember watching his videos last year when AI didn't technically exist in the mainstream world. It did for him. And he just kept saying, watch out, watch out, watch out. And boy, is he going to be right. And they got to figure it out, man. They got to figure it out, not to go doom and gloom here, because that's not really the point, but I want to open people's minds up to what is coming.
It's real life. And what I love about this conversation is anything that can be used for bad can also be used for good.
1,000,000,000%. Social media. Bingo.
And so I think the name of the game just has to be, we are willing to try anything. I'm not gonna Heisman anything. I'm not gonna let my inability to know how it works or whatever. I'm gonna say yes to everything one time, give it a shot, because we just never know what that next tool is that elevates us to a place we've never been before.
You're going to say yes to anything one time?
You know, I mean, within reason, you know.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
So, Jeff, what are you, because I know how you and Tristan work. Y'all are relentless in your pursuit to create value for people, to create unlock for people, right? You do it through your mortgage business. You do it through Business Video School. Y'all do it through Drunk on Social, and even more things that I haven't even named. Looking at what SocialCon 2024 will be, because y'all have already talked about it.
Season 2. We're going to call it season 2.
Season 2 of SocialCon. What are you most excited about already, based on just some of the things y'all have discussed?
Well, I mean, making it better for one, like learning from where we went, where we were off, or where we got feedback. Like there's some feedback that, you know, we can't change it, but
Sure.
You know, I guess for me, I'm most excited about finding those keynotes again. And I can tell you right now, today, I won't even start that search process for about 4 or 5 months, because that's how fast somebody can rise to the ranks.
Right.
And you know, you met like Kayla Calendar, and she asked me when I approached her, you know, why me? And I said, because I see myself and you 5 years ago. You're an up and comer. Austin was an up and comer at one time. London was an up and comer. And so, you know, we've got a good friend, Neil Dingra, who is puts on this Forward event, and it's freaking massive. Dude's crushing it. He and I are always comparing notes. And, you know, I've kind of made it my own personal mission to be different than Neil. Neil's doing it like he's spending stupid money. Yeah. And he's getting the Gary V's of the world. So it's a different mindset. Neither's wrong or right. Both are great. Right. Yeah. And so I think our vision, or my vision, is to constantly be finding the people that are pushing the buttons, grinding, and it's having an impact on their business, because I think, in my opinion, that is going to speak to the masses more than, you know, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, all of these massively successful people. Not that you can't learn from them, but I think when you walk away from a conference from somebody like Tyler Hassman, perfect example. Dude did it, man. He did what he preached, and he's only been in the business a year and a half, and he's crushing it, right?
I'm recording an episode with him today.
Love him. He's so great. And I think that that's going to be our MO. And so I'm most excited about those people may not even exist right now at the time of this recording in mid-April. And so it's kind of exciting. It's really cool to think that, you know, we're going to keep trying to find the up and comers, and partially, just full transparency, we want to keep ours on a budget. We want to, we don't want to have $1,000 ticket event. I mean, we do have $1,000 ticket. It's a VIP ticket. I think it was well worth it. You experienced it, the private lunches, the private dinner, it was very intimate. My request of my speakers, unlike if I paid Gary Vee to come, I'm getting Gary Vee for an hour, maybe 90 minutes, maybe for some pictures, but he's not hanging around for 8 hours. And so when I get these up and comers, when we get these people that are our friends, they hang around. I mean, Keenya Kelly was front and center 2 days.
Right.
I mean, hanging out. And to me, that's priceless. If I have a speaker, and I won't name a name, but there was a speaker that came and went from the time that they were on stage, and I won't have that person back again, because that's not what I'm looking for. I want people that are I want it to be intimate. I want people to get to hang out. It's important to me. I like the bar time. Whether you drink or don't drink, there's a lot of valuable conversations that go on there. And it's
I kind of look at SocialCon. Like, I haven't seen the movie yet, but the previews for Air, you know, the new
I haven't seen
movie.
previews. I haven't seen the previews, but yeah, I definitely see it.
And just the whole premise of, like, there's these guys fighting for something that's never been done before, right? That everybody's like, you're going to go give all this money to this college kid that's not proven anything in the NBA because you just think that it's going to be good. And so that's kind of the way that, like, I look at you and Tristan of, like, we're going to go find these people that the world hasn't put their stamp on yet, but that we believe are making waves and doing things that people aren't doing and are committed to something that others aren't committed to. And so, bro, I think it's awesome.
You know what you just reminded me to, we'll end on this, is one other takeaway.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, like, the innovation, finding what's next. So we are playing around with Lemonade. So Lemonade is the up and coming. My daughters describe it as a cross between Pinterest and Instagram.
Okay.
And so the funny thing is as you know, the threat of the TikTok ban, which I really don't think is going to ultimately happen. That's what makes this so funny, is that Lemonade's also owned by the exact same company, ByteDance.
Interesting.
And like, the government's never going to be able to keep up with this stuff because they're so clueless about it.
Right.
But yeah, Lemonade, I think, is, if anybody's listening to this thinking, all right, smarty pants, what do you think is going to be next right now? I would pay attention to that. You know, Tristan and I will be jumping on.
I love it.
We were the ones introducing Clubhouse to the world. We'll be introducing anything that's potentially new. And you know what? Here's what we promise with Drunk on Social. You don't have to jump into things right away. Let Tristan and I test them for a little while, and then we'll start getting loud about it. If we think it's something like TikTok, we'll start to get loud about it. But here's the advice I'll give somebody. When we start to get loud about it, don't wait and see.
Right.
Jump. You have nothing to lose. And if you get in early, opportunity tends to
huge, man. So, guys listening, if you're not a part of Drunk on Social, go search it on Facebook. It's on, you guys are on Instagram. Go find them. Incredible value there. Cost you absolutely nothing. And then Jeff, is there a way for people to go reserve their spot for season 2 of SocialCon?
Man, yeah, we'll have to get you that link. You could put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it down there.
There is. I'll have N send that over to you. Absolutely. Good question.
Right.
Thank you for that. And
of course,
I mean, I will tell you this, if anybody wants to know, like, we're everywhere, Drunk on Socials, on all the socials and stuff. But I think my opinion is, and I even put a video out about this last week. If you miss, we post a lot every day. And so if you miss a couple of days, shit gets buried, you might miss it. I recommend subscribe to our newsletter. We put out 3 a week, and
awesome.
That way that doesn't get buried. I mean, I guess it gets buried, but you can kind of set them aside. You can flag them. And that way you just quickly peruse them. They're usually very short. They have 2 or 3 topics, and you can just peruse, and that way you can stay up to date on what's going on. I would say subscribe to our newsletter. That's the best place to not miss anything.
I love it. We'll have all that in the show notes.
You got it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Likewise, man.
Guys, we'll be back. Not with 2 people as great as Jeff and Tristan, or at least Jeff, since Tristan's not here anymore. Nobody cares about him. But we will be back next week with a really cool person with an even cooler story. See ya.
Thanks for listening to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social. We are here to help you take your business to new levels through social media. Make sure to subscribe to get updates on new episodes, and come join us on our Drunk on Social Facebook page. And as always, make sure you leave us a great review on your favorite podcast app. Feedback and likes are very much appreciated.